What's good, ladies and gentlemen? Ackle here, and of course, welcome back to each and every one of you to Baron's Chat episode 15. Holy crap, it has been 15 weeks thus far since we started this little adventure, and I imagine it's going to pick up steam quite heavily towards the War Within launch, and then as the War Within plays out, I have a feeling there's just going to be so much more. Before we get into speculation, let's just quickly talk about... Have you guys been enjoying the pre-patch? Not really. It's bad. No. And there's no so buggy. No. Yes, but I skipped the F. No. F is to the 11th degree. I have experienced the exact same thing. Just lag and lag and lag. Because, and I, Blizzard, if you guys are watching any of my streams ever again, and I'm sorry for the names that I called you, Ian, but I felt it was deserved, and you learned from it, so clearly I did my job as a content creator, calling you out and holding you to account. But, if you are watching my content, for the love of fuck, would you stop making content that requires the entire fucking world to partake in it in your engine? Please, I beg you. Could we get some phasing going and maybe limit the amount of people that can go into a single phase? It's ridiculous. It's not fun. Like, I don't understand why we keep doing this. I don't understand why do we keep doing this. Every single fucking patch, you have to do this nonsense where you have these giant world events. And I get that on paper, it seems like this is going to be a good idea. I remember when Time Rifts came out, and I was super, super hyped for Time Rifts until I did my first Time Rift, and I was like, yeah, all right, someone just can punch me in the balls. I think it will be more enjoyable. This is not a fun experience. Your engine cannot do this. No one enjoys standing around like a fucking knob because the engine is taking a fucking break. It's just not fun. So please stop doing this. And yes, I know that there's been patches and patches and patches that have sort of alleviated some of the lag, although I literally was just in one before the live stream, and it was still laggy as it was still laggy. It's not as bad, but it's still laggy. The thing is, all right, I get what you're trying to go for, but those days are over. The way you've optimized the game, the way you've built the game, it just doesn't work. So can we please get instanced bosses? Make it maximum 10, maybe 15, maybe 20 people at the most. Phase that shit, instance that shit, and let us be able to at least play the fucking game. I don't want to stand around and everything's just frozen and suddenly the boss dies. I'm like, oh, wait, did I do anything? Did I even tag this? I don't know. I couldn't see anything. I was just here for like 5 minutes standing around doing nothing. So yeah, the other problem that I have with the pre-patch is seems like a lot of waiting. I don't know if that's been fixed though. I only literally did one today as I logged on. It was going. So I'm not sure if that's been fixed. Is the waiting still a problem? Because I saw a lot of people on Twitter talking about this. I experienced a little bit of it. To be fair, I haven't like no-lifed the pre-patch. But it seems like people were waiting for crazy amounts of time just to even get it going. Which I genuinely think that should never have even been there. The fact that it's fixed is a good thing. But I'm sorry, Blizzard, what are you doing? Who the fuck came up with a pre-patch that required players to wait for like an hour before they can do it? Why would that be? Like, I don't understand why that would be a thing. Like, why isn't there someone that says to the person coming up with this idea, you know what, players actually, players tend to no-life these things a little, so how about we lower that timer significantly? or maybe remove the cooldown timer entirely. It genuinely just feels like such a bad decision, right? But overall, I think my biggest takeaway from the pre-patch, and it should be said because I have been saying it for a while now, pre-patches no longer feel the way that they used to. And maybe I am just getting old. Maybe I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But fundamentally, I remember a time where pre-patches was super fun. You know, pre-patches really went out of their way to be super cool, super fun, super engaging. Just a really fun experience. Whereas it's kind of starting to feel just more of the same. You know, like every pre-patch is just sort of the same thing. Over and over again, kill big boss, wait for more boss, kill big boss, wait for more boss, kill big boss, wait for more boss. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm sure that I think the reason I'm not judging Blizzard for this, and the reason I would never judge Blizzard for this, is I'm sure that there are players for whom this is their preferred playstyle. They like the fact that they can just kill bosses, get currency, and buy stuff with their currency. For me, as a bit more of a lore nerd, I thought the pre-patch storyline was fucking fire. I just want to go out on a limb and say, job well done on that pre-patch storyline. I thought the voice acting was absolutely on point. I thought the pacing was really good. At no point did I have to kill an insane amount of mobs. You know, it was confront 3 memories and collect 3 memories. And I thought that was a nice amount. It wasn't like, oh, kill 20 of this and 10 of this and 50 of this. So I felt the pacing was really good. I also like the fact that it sort of allowed me to connect with Illyria again. Even though I've done all of these things and I know her story, it was nice to be able to connect with her again. But now that's over. You know? And while I love the lore reveals and so on and so forth, there's just not much for me to do now in the pre-patch, because I couldn't give 2 fucks about anything that you can buy with that currency. I will not buy anything with that currency. I will not even collect that currency. I will probably do the event when I'm bored and I have nothing else to do and I'm watching podcasts about League of Legends because Fnatic sucks dick at the moment. Sorry. I shouldn't get angry at my sports team. But yeah, when I'm watching podcasts, I will probably just do that for fun. But yeah, I'm like, for me, this is not a pre-patch that I enjoy. But then again, maybe no pre-patch will be a pre-patch I enjoy. Yeah, Frozen Solid, don't bring it up, please. I don't want to talk about that. Okay, Kudzai, what I mean by engine update. Some areas still look like 2004. Old the game is by now, surely that should have been addressed. Kudzai, so first and foremost, the problem is not an engine problem. I have a video out about that, so I won't go into detail about that right now. But you can find the video on my channel where I explain exactly why World of Warcraft looks the way that it does, why the engine is the way that it is, and why there are so much lag in World of Warcraft, why sometimes it seems like the engines are struggling. It's not the engine. It's the way World of Warcraft was built from the ground up with a crap ton of spaghetti code in the middle of that is causing all of these issues. It's basically, as you build systems on top of systems, those systems can sometimes create feedback loops and slow down the entire fucking process. The problem is, trying to unravel those systems will require a complete rebuild of the great game from the ground up, because a lot of those systems are intertwined with other systems that have nothing to do with the old system. So it's sort of like you basically have to undo the whole thing and rebuild it. From that perspective, Blizzard is probably looking at this going, that's not fucking worth. We're not doing that. We'll just make it. And there are ways around it. As I said at the beginning of this discussion, all Blizzard needs to do is take bosses and put them in phasing. You do that, and all these problems go away. As soon as you engage a boss, you go into a different phase, and bam, you know, with 20 other people, and that's it. No questions asked, no harm, no foul. I think that's perfect.